Hi there. I'm going to show you how to connect a LabQuest2 to a wireless network so that you can use LabQuest Viewer, data share, or graphical analysis for iPad in your classroom or wherever you are. The most important thing that you need to know is that all of the devices that you're going to be using, whether it's a computer, a LabQuest2, a tablet like an iPad, or even a phone like this iPhone, they all need to be on the same wireless network. So that means at your school, all of the devices need to be on the same network that's either at the school or in the classroom. Now you can see that on the Mac. I'm going to show you that this Mac is actually attached to or connected to a network called wireless network. So if I go up here to my wireless settings, you can see that I see a network, Apple Hub, Cisco, Vernier Guest, but the network that we're using is called wireless network. So I'm going to connect to that network. Right there. Well, the most important thing here, though, is that most of you are probably familiar with LabQuest app, or this screen right here. We need to go to another location or view other apps that are on the LabQuest2. You can do that by tapping on the Home button or just simply tapping on the Home icon right here at the bottom of the screen. Now you can see that there are other apps that are available on this LabQuest2. There's LabQuest app, audio function generator, and some other things, but what's most important for us is the folder called Connections. You can see that inside this folder there's connection information, LabQuest Viewer, data share graphical analysis, email, and most importantly, network. By tapping on the network icon, we will be able to connect to a network that's in this room, or you could use this to connect to a network that was in your classroom. So I'm going to tap on network. Now you can see right here on the LabQuest2 that the Wi-Fi radio is enabled. So that means it's transmitting a wireless signal and it's picking up several different networks. Wireless network, testnet 2, Vernier, and Vernier Guest. Now remember, the Mac that we have over here and all of these other tablets and phones are all connected to the wireless network, a Wi-Fi network that we've named wireless network. So for this to work, the LabQuest2 also needs to be connected to wireless network. And you do that by just tapping where it says wireless network. And then we'll know when we've connected to the network when we see an IP address, which is a series of numbers. You don't have to worry too much about what those numbers are. Just when you finally see those numbers, you will know that you are actually connected to the network. And there we are. Wireless network 192.168.1.126. So now that my LabQuest2 is on the same wireless network that all of these devices are on, I can view the LabQuest screen or transfer data to a computer, to an iPad, tablet, or a phone. And that's what I'm going to show you next using this Macintosh. I'm going to use our software called LabQuest Viewer. If I open up or click on LabQuest Viewer, you will see that there are two LabQuests that it can see, since both of these LabQuests are on the same network. Now if I want to see Group 2's data, I can just connect to it here using LabQuest Viewer. And now I am seeing Group 2's LabQuest. And since I'm at the Home icon, or I'm in the Home page, where I have LabQuest app, the periodic table, and connections, if I want to see the data, if I go to LabQuest app, by clicking right here, I'll be able to see the data that's been transferred. And there we go. So what if you want to transmit data to a tablet or a smartphone or maybe even an iPad? Well, remember, the critical thing if you want to transmit data from a LabQuest2 to any of these devices is that they're all on the same network. So my iPad right here is actually connected once again to a network called wireless network, just like my LabQuest2. So to view any data, all I have to have is an app that can actually view that data from my LabQuest2. In the case of the iPad, it's something called graphical analysis. Let me show it to you. So if you look right here, there's an app called Graphical Analysis. If I tap on that app, you can see right now that there's no data server attached. It's not seeing any data from a LabQuest 2. If I want to see what LabQuest 2s it can see, I just have to click or tap in the top corner right here. And now you can see it sees two things, Group 1 and Group 2. Both of these things are called Vernier Data Share, but really they're LabQuests. They're LabQuests that the iPad can see. Just like I showed you on the Macintosh, these are the same LabQuests called Group 1 and Group 2. So let's just connect to Group 2, like I did with the Macintosh. And here you can see the same data that I showed you with LabQuest Viewer on the Macintosh, right here on the iPad. And I could do the same thing on a smartphone. All I need to have is all of them on the same network. So what if you don't have a wireless network in your classroom? Or for that matter, maybe you're out in the field in Yellowstone and you want to transmit data from your LabQuest 2 to an iPad or your phone where there isn't a wireless network. Well, that's okay. You can make the LabQuest 2 its own network or create your own network. What that means is that the LabQuest 2 will create its own local network where it will broadcast using Wi-Fi, and you can pick up that data on a computer, on an iPad or a tablet, or on a smartphone. Remember, once again, the most critical thing is that all of these devices are all connected to the same network. That means when I create a network here using the LabQuest 2, I'm then going to have to change and connect each one of my devices to that network that I just created. So let me show you how to do that. Like I said, I'm a biologist. It's not that hard. I can do it. So most of you, once again, are probably familiar with this screen. This is LabQuest app. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Connections folder, which has all of my network settings. To get there, I just need to tap on the Home icon or the Home button. So I'm going to tap right here on the Home icon. Now you can see there's LabQuest app, periodic table, and remember, I went to this folder called Connections. So I'm going to go back to that folder just by tapping on it. Once again, you can see connection information, LabQuest Viewer, email, data share for graphical analysis, and network. And just remember again, where I went to was this button, or this app, or this button right here called network. So let's just tap right there. Now you can see the Wi-Fi radio is enabled. That means it's active. That means it can transmit data. And you can see that it's seeing a series of networks that are actually in this room. Wireless network, Vernier guest, or Vernier. But remember, what I'm trying to show you is how would you create your own local network? So, for example, if you didn't have a wireless network in your classroom, you could create a network and then you could transmit this data from this one LabQuest to all the students in the classroom if they had computers, an iPad or tablet or a smartphone. So let's just look down here. You can see Vernier network, Vernier guest, Vernier. There's something called join other network, but if I just click on this little arrow, there's something below there that I want to show you. That's called create network. If I tap here, I'll be able to create my own network using this LabQuest 2. So let's just do that. So you can see the next thing that comes up is this screen that says network name and passphrase. The passphrase, if I check this box, I can actually make a passcode so that I can keep other people off this network. I'm not really worried about that. I'm just going to create a new network name. So since this is a LabQuest 2, why don't I just call the network my network, because it's local. So I'm going to tap right in here. And now I'm going to type in the network name, which I'm just going to call my network. And I'm just going to tap on the little done button. Now once I hit here, tap right here where it says create, I will create my own network. And once again, just like when I was trying to connect to other networks, you know that you've created a network or you're connected to a network when you see an IP address. You You can see that right here. These set of numbers mean that I've created a network and I'm connected to it. Now remember, the key thing here, if I want to transmit data from this LabQuest to a computer, to a tablet, or to a smartphone, is always that they're all in the same network. So what I need to do now is I need to connect, in this case, my iPad to the same network, my network. So let me show you how to do that. Here's an iPad, and there's this section right here called Settings. And all I have to do is if I tap on Settings, and if I look at this location right underneath Airplane Mode where it says Settings, so right here where it says Wi-Fi, if I tap there, you can see now that it sees a couple other networks. Look, there's my network. That's the network that I just created on my LabQuest 2. So now I'm going to connect to it. And there it is. It's connected. So it's connected to my network. So now let's go back to graphical analysis and see if I can see that data. So if I tap here, I can go back to the main screen. And now let's just tap on graphical analysis. And let's see if I can see group 2. There it is. So the iPad and the LabQuest are both on the same network. I don't have to have a school's wireless network. I've just created my own local network, and now I can connect to group 2, and that data will be transferred to my iPad. And there you have it. The same data right there. So that's all you need to know to be able to connect to a network in your classroom or create your own network. If you have any questions, feel free to check out our website.